Europe, the late 1700s. Empires dominate the continent. Kings command armies, nations fight for territory, and power is measured by land, soldiers, and influence. But behind every army, behind every throne, and behind every war, there is another force quietly shaping the world: money. And in this world of kings and empires, one family would discover how powerful money could truly be. A family whose name would become one of the most famous and mysterious in financial history: the Rothschilds. The story begins in Frankfurt, Germany, in the year 1744. In a narrow street inside the Jewish quarter, a boy named Mayer Amschel Rothschild was born. His family was not wealthy or powerful. His father worked as a coin dealer, trading rare coins and small valuables to survive. Life in the Jewish ghetto was difficult. Opportunities were limited, and many doors were closed to families like Mayer's. But Mayer possessed something that would change his future. He was observant, patient, and extremely ambitious. After the death of his parents, Mayer continued the family business. At first, he simply traded coins and antiques, selling them to collectors and merchants. But Mayer understood something many others did not. Wealthy people loved rare objects, but what they valued even more was trust. Mayer slowly built relationships with aristocrats and wealthy clients. His reputation grew as someone who was reliable, careful, and intelligent with money. Eventually, his work caught the attention of one of the richest men in Europe, Prince William of Hesse. The prince entrusted Mayer with managing part of his fortune and financial transactions. For Mayer, this opportunity was life-changing. It gave him access to wealth, influence, and connections among the European elite. But Mayer was not satisfied with simply managing money. He wanted to build something far bigger, something that could survive for generations, and he had the perfect plan to do it. Mayer Rothschild had 5 sons. Instead of keeping the family business in one place, he made a bold and revolutionary decision. He would spread his sons across Europe. Each son would establish a banking operation in one of the continent's major financial cities. By doing this, the Rothschild family could operate across borders, governments, and economies. Nathan Rothschild would travel to London, the heart of British finance. James Rothschild would establish operations in Paris. Salomon Rothschild would build influence in Vienna within the Austrian Empire. Karl Rothschild would manage banking activities in Naples. And Amschel Rothschild, the eldest son, would remain in Frankfurt to oversee the original headquarters. This strategy created something Europe had never seen before: a powerful international banking network run entirely by one family. At a time when communication between countries could take weeks, the Rothschild brothers developed their own system of messengers, letters, and trusted couriers. Information traveled quickly through their private network. And in finance, information meant advantage. Soon the Rothschild family began to gain influence across multiple European economies. Then history presented them with an opportunity that would change everything. The early 1800s brought war to Europe. Napoleon Bonaparte had risen to power in France and was expanding his empire across the continent. Battles were fought across multiple countries, and governments were struggling to finance their armies. Wars required enormous amounts of money. Armies needed weapons, food, horses, uniforms, and supplies. Governments needed massive loans to continue fighting. And the Rothschild banking network was ready. Using their connections across Europe, the brothers began financing governments and transporting gold across borders. Their ability to move large sums of money quickly made them incredibly valuable to powerful leaders. Among the brothers, one man stood out for his financial instincts: Nathan Rothschild in London. Nathan was known for his sharp intelligence and bold decision-making. He developed strong relationships with British financial institutions and government officials. But his greatest advantage was information. And in 1815, during one of the most important moments in European history, that advantage would become legendary. The Battle of Waterloo was the final confrontation between Napoleon's army and the forces opposing him. The outcome of this battle would determine the future of Europe. According to a famous story, Nathan Rothschild received news of Napoleon's defeat before the British government officially announced it. Using this information, he began purchasing British government bonds, while many investors were still uncertain about the outcome of the war. When news of Napoleon's defeat spread, confidence in Britain surged. The value of those government bonds increased dramatically. Throughout the 19th century, the Rothschild family expanded their financial empire even further. Their banks financed railways that connected cities across Europe. The Rothschild family expanded their financial empire even further. Their banks financed railways that connected cities across Europe. They funded mining companies and major industrial projects during the early stages of the Industrial Revolution. Governments relied on Rothschild banks to issue bonds and manage large financial transactions. For decades, the Rothschild family was widely considered the most powerful banking dynasty in the world. Their influence stretched across London, Paris, Vienna, Frankfurt, and Naples. Yet despite their immense wealth and power, the Rothschilds maintained a reputation for secrecy and privacy. Family loyalty was extremely important. Many marriages took place within extended branches of the family to keep wealth and business control within the dynasty. Business decisions were rarely discussed outside the family. This secrecy protected their financial network, but it also created an air of mystery around them. And where there is mystery, rumors often follow. Over time, the Rothschild name became surrounded by myths and conspiracy theories. Some people believed the family secretly controlled governments or global financial systems. Others claimed they manipulated markets from behind the scenes. In reality, historians generally agree that while the Rothschilds were extraordinarily influential bankers during the 19th century, many of these extreme claims have little historical evidence. Like many powerful financial families, their influence changed as the world evolved. The rise of central banks, multinational corporations, and modern financial institutions gradually transformed global finance. But the Rothschild legacy remained. More than 2 centuries after Mayer Amschel Rothschild opened his small coin shop in Frankfurt, the impact of his vision can still be seen today. He created one of the first truly international banking networks in history. He proved that information, strategy, and family cooperation could build a financial empire that crossed borders and generations. From a small shop in a crowded ghetto to one of the most famous financial dynasties the world has ever known.